So a alert came on, so it interrupted the video.
More tea, please.
Hello everybody, my name is Melissa. Welcome to Introvert Reads. If you're new here, my name is Melissa and I am a new booktuber. And today I'm going to be discussing some recent reads that I have read up until Friday, July 17th. I think it's the correct date. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So I do have my notebook that I've written down some notes on the books I have read and the stuff that I have liked, stuff that I disliked in it. So let's dive right into the first books. So the first book that I read was The Kissing Game by Murray Hart, and in case you guys couldn't tell, I do have my notebook of notes because I didn't want to forget what the books were about, unless if they leave a really big mark on me. It's not going to be that hard for me to be like, oh right, this is what it's about, this is really good, or it didn't really set a good spot with me, but I do have notes. So, The Kissing Game by Murray Hart, this is a companion novel to her series, which I didn't realize that because the cover, I liked the cover. It sparked fun on the cover and it was simple and I really liked the cover of this book. But if you look at the other novels and the covers of the novels, there's no similarities at all. It's just two different things. So I had no idea that, this was from the series. And that would explain a lot because I was actually really confused in the book, because when you go in there not knowing her books or her past novels, obviously, it's going to be a little bit confusing because she's mentioned oh, if you know this character, she's like this, you know how she is. No, I don't know how she is. Can you please explain that a little bit more to me, because I don't know. So yes, I went there blindly. If you guys want to go in blindly, be my guest. No one's stopping you. Go for it. If you want to read the past novels, go for it. So the next one was the description of the dude. So they call the dude tall, dark, and handsome. You think Mr. Darcy, right? Tall, dark hair, handsome dude, brooding nature, not talking a lot. This dude had blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, if his personality was dark, which it is dark, and if you guys meant it by that, then, maybe just elaborate that part on it. But when we think of, especially me, tall, dark, and handsome, the guy's going to be tall, dark, and handsome. So, another thing I didn't like was the interaction, the conversations with the main characters and with the side characters as well. Excuse me. There was a lot of adult time in this book. And I did feel it's not because there's a lot of bedtime in this novel, and that's inflicting on my review on it, but I just felt it didn't go with the plot. They were doing it a lot, but oh my gosh, I don't know if I should continue dating this dude. And you're just why are you doing this then? What are you thinking? So I'm just what is going on? So I didn't feel there was any romance in here. The guy, he is not a romantic type. The girl loves romance, it's opposites attract kind of thing. And, he's trying to be romantic, but I still didn't feel there was romance in there. I didn't even feel drawn to the dude, and that's a little bit bad if I'm not drawn to the characters. So there is talk of violence, hate crime, and racism in this book. So those are touchy subjects. You know what to do, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. So I gave this 2 stars, mainly because I would give it a really high 1 star, but because I read it to the end of the novel, I gave it 2. So if I, have a book that I just like really hated or something like that, and I never finish it because I hated it so much, 1 star. So I think that's how my reviews will be going for those. So the next book that I read was Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. I did give this 3 stars, and this is not how I pictured this book to be. I read the plot, I'm like, hey, this sounds good, and I read it and I'm just like, what just happened? So I'm just like, I know I'm kind of speechless right now. This is an average read. It did throw me off. There were some things that I'm just like about it in the book, but it's average. It's still a good book if you want to read this kind of stuff. So this is general fiction. I thought it was a romance novel when I read the description on it. So it's about this gal named Daphne who is a plus size Instagram, not a model, but she's like a good figure on Instagram. I forgot what it was called. And her ex-best friend from many years ago calls her up and says, hey, I'm getting married. Can you be my maid of honor? And she's just like, after all these years, really? You're gonna do this? But Drew, the ex-best friend, is just like, hey, there's gonna be single guys there, you could get a little bit of something, and Daphne's just like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll just push the past to the side, I guess, a little bit, and do this for you. I'm just like, what the heck happened after this? So a couple things, like, starting off, which is like, one, because she is a plus size, she, the clothes that we wear, I am overweight, I am plus size, so I don't feel comfortable in my clothes. But at the start of the book, she is trying on clothes from a new stylist, I think, and she's like, clothes fitting perfectly, and it makes you feel really good and flattered. And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, it does. I really agree with that. And going on through the book, she mentioned, the past with Drew and what happened with their friendship. And there's a line that I wrote down. It says, stop being a girl on a diet and start being a girl. And I'm just like, yeah, yeah, feel yourself as a girl, not the girl that's on a diet. Like, totally. So the history between Daphne and Drew, I really liked it, because it really set the tone for the novel. And holy crap, like, again, I'm gonna say this quite a lot. I did not expect this stuff to happen, which I'm not gonna tell you what happens in the book. But I'm speechless. I'm just like, this is not how I imagined this book to go. So kudos to the author for throwing me off. So yes, halfway. So there's parts in these books, part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 2, there's a plot twist. Like, the start of part 2 is just like plot twist, and you're just like, what? So bear that in mind. And yeah, and then, with the promise from Drew, they say like, hey, you're gonna meet single guys there, yada yada yada. Daphne does meet a guy there, and she had a little fling with the dude. So I'm just like, oh, it's gonna turn into a romance. It did not turn into a romance, and you will know when you read the book. And and then there was like some hints of flirtation in the book, and then like at the end they're just like, oh, I like you too. And I'm just like, what? Like, I was like a little bit confused on that. So if it was like a little bit more descriptive, a little bit like added content to the novel, you might have gotten a higher rating, but that was just my take on it. It is still a good read. I do recommend you guys to read this book as well. So the next book that I read was Stay Gold by Tobley McSmith. I gave this 3 stars, so it is an average read for me. I did enjoy this book. I actually really did enjoy this book, so it was like a very fast read for me. I'm just like, hey, it's good. Meow. Went through it very quickly. So there's a character in there named Pony, and if you guys don't know the plot of the story, it's a guy who's transgendered. Lala. I hate when I stumble over words. So he renamed himself Pony. And I keep, obviously I read Pony in the book, and I'm just like, Pony Boy. I want to call him Pony Boy because of the outsiders. And as Fate calls it, right at the end of the novel, they mention the outsiders, and I'm just like, yes, I like this. Because I did like the outsiders when I watched in, middle school. I really liked Pony Boy and Johnny. So the characters of the novel were really good. They have very good interactions. I like how they communicated with each other. I love the flirting in this novel. It was just like a really good romance, and I'm just like, mwah, I love it. And because Pony is transgendered, he has a friend named Max, and Max is just like heavily on, you need to put yourself out there. You need to be a voice for our people. And Pony's just like, I don't want to do that. I just want to just fly under the radar. And that's what he wants to do in this novel. It's just, I don't want to put myself out there, and just fly under the radar. But Max is just like, no, you gotta do this. And I didn't like the constant pushing of that. I am fine with people, coming out, but not the respecting people's boundaries. If the person doesn't want to do it, don't consistently push them. It makes them feel like crap. I've been there, and I probably have done it as well. But I know now, don't do that. That doesn't make you look good, and it doesn't make you or the other person feel good as well. So I do think that part sent a bad message. If you're the friend, if you, have this relationship with, this dude or girl or whoever, don't push them to do anything that they don't want to do. So with that in mind, that was kind of the turning point of the novel, which went in a bad direction for me. And I felt like I wished this stuff didn't happen to Pony. And it's not the trans part. Something happens in the book that happens specifically to him, just not saying a word about it, that I just didn't like. And I didn't like how that turned out, and I didn't like the ending of it, because with Pony saying, hey, I just want to fly under the radar, I don't want to be big spotlight on me, I really didn't feel like the ending of the novel matched his or his wants, So that's how I felt about the book, but you know what, guys? I still recommend this book. And then the last novel that I am going to finish this video up with was Don't You Forget About Me by Mihara McFarlane. I am sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. So I'm giving this 3 stars, but it's a low 3 stars. It's teetering on 3 to 2.9 kind of teetering thing. So this is about Lucas and Georgiana, which I really do like that name. So Georgiana had this past fling back in high school. Actually, she was dating the guy. I guess I should say it was a fling. And she liked this boy named Lucas, or Luke. And, they were dating, and then something happened that split them up. Now, I think she's just turning 30, or she is 30 already in the novel, so quite a bit of time has passed since high school. And she meets him again, but he doesn't recognize her. So she's just like, okay, so he doesn't recognize me, okay, then I'm not gonna recognize him either. But feelings are, stirring up, and then he's kind of flirting too, and it just kind of just goes crazy from there. So I do like when they brought him into the picture, so many years later, and she's he enters the room and he acts like Mr. Darcy, standing on the dance floor, and he's just ugh, just no emotion on his face. He's just a Darcy, and I'm just like, yes, I love Darcys, yes, give me more. So I did like that description about him, so that just hooked me in. I'm just like, yeah. So yes, a warning here though, there is mentions of sexual assault in the novel. So if you guys are sensitive to the topic, if you guys don't want to read it, stay clear from it. If you guys are okay, continue on. Through the novel, it's very jumpy from the past to the present, which I understand why, but it was way too jumpy. So I think the stuff needed to be a little bit more clear, so it's not so jumpy back and forth, which it was a lot in the novel, so you had to like really pay attention to it. And I felt anxious in the novel, don't get me wrong. There was something that made me anxious, not the warning part, but it's the talk of selfishness. You know, Georgiana did not act selfish at all in the book, and her sister's just calling her out. She's just like, you know what, stop thinking about yourself, you need to think about others, yada yada yada. She has been, but her sister is being the more selfish one than Georgiana. So I just felt like, you know, like I couldn't breathe a little bit. I'm just like, I really felt bad for her, and it made me feel crappy. So just a little heads up about that. And the history with Georgiana was upsetting, you know, to me. Yes, with the warning, yes, that did upset me a bit. Not that I have been any involvement in that. It was just the stuff that happened with her was upsetting. And then Lucas at the end, because, you know, like, you know, most, if not 90% of romance novels, you know, there's some hint that they do get together at the end. She made a point where, you know, since, you know, actually no, I'm not gonna say anything. It's just something that happened in the novel, and what he said to her made her just be like, now wait a second. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. So I'm not gonna say anything about that, but you know, when you guys get to there, or if you guys know what the heck I'm talking about, leave a comment down below, because I would like somebody to know, or at least I would like to know that somebody knows what it is that I am talking about. That's just, you know, put like a bad taste in my mouth. You know, I didn't like what he said, and what she said was right. So, and yeah, so that is it. That is all that I have read in July. It's 4 books. It is not a lot, but that is what I have for you guys today. If you guys like the content, please leave me a thumbs up, because that does help me get the video around a little bit, get some more viewers, you know, coming into the channel, and hopefully I get some more book readers and we can have a conversation. Please leave a comment, and if you guys are new, please subscribe to me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!